KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust. Serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson Navigation, serving Guam and Micronesia for 20 years. Cars Plus, Dodge Challenger, the undisputed champion. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dedido. Always open, always local.
Ahead on Primetime, a woman is dead after a serious crash in Dedido. Investigators are now looking into the cause. Plus, the Civil Service Commission will investigate a whistleblower complaint filed by a longtime firefighter. And yet a repeat health violation for a local grocery store forces public health to shut down the facility again. Isa Baza has the story.
Half a day and good evening. I'm Nick Delgado. We begin with tragedy in the north. One woman is dead and two others seriously injured after a three-car crash just before noon today. It happened on Route 3 NCS Dedido near Pacific Rim Construction. Highway Patrol investigators say the driver of a blue Honda Civic was going south on the inner lane when the driver of a black Hyundai Elantra headed in the opposite direction lost control, crashing into the Civic and a blue Nissan Versa that was on the outer lane. Authorities confirmed the driver of the Elantra, only identified as a woman, died while two others suffered serious injuries. Her name has not yet been released. Investigators say they have yet to determine whether speed, alcohol, or drugs are factors that caused the deadly crash. The investigation is ongoing. A whistleblower complaint is now the focus of a Civil Service Commission investigation. Commissioners voting unanimously Thursday night to move forward with staff recommendations to look into the complaint filed by a longtime Guam firefighter.
Allegations of favoritism within the Guam Fire Department.
There's a whole bunch of firefighters that want to speak up, but management style, they talk about bullying. We experience that in our management style. There's a bullying technique that's going on, and people are afraid to be retaliated against, because look at what happened.
John Santos has been with GFD for the past 25 years. He was recently demoted from a fire specialist to a firefighter too. The disciplinary action is the result of an internal affairs investigation after Santos publicly spoke out about the way promotions are being handled. Information he also shared with lawmakers at the department's budget hearing.
Hard information that there's wrongdoing in the promotions. As far as the qualifications, because I got retaliated against and
For speaking out.
Yeah.
He's since taken the issue and his demotion to the Civil Service Commission, the commission Thursday night agreeing to investigate. However, acting GFD Fire Chief Joey C. Nicholas contends management's actions are justified, but he welcomes the investigation.
Management has not been afforded the opportunity to provide arguments against. And so with this next level of investigation, we can do that. And I am very confident that the measures that have been issued to this employee were justified and appropriate.
Nicholas also backing the recent promotions, saying everything was done by the book.
We've offered fair opportunity across the board for all employees, and we continue to do so today. And it's unfortunate that some employees chose to or just failed to take advantage of that opportunity.
The commission will investigate the allegations of abuse of power at GFD. What happens next will be for them to decide.
And a man is fighting for his life after being beaten outside a Tamuning bar this week. The incident, a result of the suspect being involved in two bar fights happening just days apart. Police placing the suspect under arrest. 31-year-old Justin Ryan, who is charged with aggravated assault and terrorizing, both with a special allegation of possession and use of a deadly weapon and assault. Court documents state police responded to Horse and Cow on Sunday. Witnesses say the suspect got into an argument with another man when he allegedly grabbed the man by the throat, holding a knife to his neck, while threatening that he's killed before. The suspect is also accused of getting into a fight with another man who tried to intervene. He denied being involved in the incident, but he was additionally charged with aggravated assault. Court documents state on Wednesday police responded to Cave's Bar, where they found a man lying in a pool of blood in the parking lot. Witnesses told police the men were arguing inside the bar before leaving. The victim rushed to GMH to undergo surgery. He was last reported to be on a respirator at the hospital's intensive care unit. He was being held on a $20,000 cash bail. Well, yet another lawsuit has been filed against the Archdiocese of Viana and the Boy Scouts of America, the latest by a former Manila resident only identified as 66-year-old SFT. SFT names both Father Louis Brouillard and Boy Scout leader Edward Pereira as his abusers. On church grounds, on swimming trips and camping trips, he alleges the adult men took every opportunity to sexually abuse him. While fitting for baseball uniforms, he alleges the priest forced him to strip down and stand in front of the mirrors so he could take photos. SFT is suing for $10 million. With 7 that stand accused and more than 20,000 pages of discovery, it's no wonder the case against former Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority board members and its current executive director, Michael Dueñas, will not be settled by year-end, though the court was hopeful it would be. In motions filed on behalf of David Sablan and John Yao, they request the government be more specific in informing defendants on the documents it intends to use in trials so defense can properly prepare. Cecile Suda, Sablan, Diane Torrey, Yao, Roland Selvage, Rosie Ann Blas, and Dueñas are accused of holding secret board meetings. Majority of those charged appeared in court Friday with similar concerns involving the mass amount of discovery. Lau is also asked the court to sever his case. A hearing on the motions has been set for December 15th. Well, defense is calling it double jeopardy and as a result wants the indictment against Glenn Wong thrown out. Wong is co-defendant of Mark Smith. Smith, who is a former Guru legal counsel, is accused of concealing his conflict of interest as a Section 8 landlord by transferring his properties to Wong. The pair shared bank accounts. The men were a week into trial when a mistrial was declared last month. Arguments were heard on the motion today. A hearing on Smith's motion to continue trial is set for Monday. An inmate indicted in the alleged scheme to smuggle contraband into the prison pleaded not guilty in local court today. Inmate Sean Paul Johnson is among 13 accused in the case. He waived his rights to a speedy trial, but his defense attorney has filed a motion to withdraw as legal counsel. That motion, along with a slew of others for those indicted, will be argued before Judge Vern Perez next Wednesday. More than 2.4 grams of meth and 1.7 grams of marijuana. The Medina Drug Task Force made an arrest after those drugs were found. 40-year-old James Lay Francisco Song is charged with illegal possession of the drugs along with intent to distribute. Song was arrested back in July after authorities say he was caught driving a stolen car that had about 18 grams of the drug ice inside. As part of his probation and pretrial release, he had to take a drug test but failed. That's when they searched his car and found those drugs and other drug paraphernalia. President Donald Trump has directed the Department of Health and Human Services to declare the nation's opioid crisis a public health emergency. The declaration will lead to expanding telemedicine in rural areas and will shift some federal grants toward combating the crisis. However, New Beginning substance abuse counselor Tracy Kittigwa says the lack of medically assisted programs is one of the obstacles to combating opioid addiction on Guam.
Not too many people would want to come in through our doors to seek the treatment because of the withdrawals attached to quitting, and they know that we don't have the services. If we can have a facility specifically for that type of population and also a doctor, medical doctor who can prescribe those types of medications for the person withdrawing from opiates, that would be really, really helpful.
She hopes the declaration will help address this service gap. Adding opioid addiction has been a growing issue locally. We'll stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming with KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
We value relationships. Because when we commit,
I love you guys until you're 80, until you're 90, until you're 100, forever.
We are in it for the long run. So you can enjoy the moments that matter. Because when we commit to relationships, we never stop caring. Calvo's Select Care, health care that is always there for you.
your reason to celebrate with a brand new Samsung Galaxy Note 8 at IT&E.
It's Hyundai's Kickoff the Savings event going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Score big, save big with the all-new redesigned Hyundai Sonata Hybrid. Gain those extra yards with up to 45 miles per gallon highway and an introductory savings of $4,500. Or check out Guam's best offensive line, like a new Accent starting at $11,995, or the new Elantra starting at $16,995. How about the new Tucson starting at $19,995? Plus, every new Hyundai gets Guam's best warranty. It's Hyundai's Kickoff the Savings event at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
When you know what you want and you want it great, look no further than Ruby Tuesday's new Steakhouse Sensations menu. Choose from a 20-ounce dry aged prime bone-in ribeye or an 8-ounce filet mignon tenderloin. Either steak seared to your preference and served with 2 specialty sides, like the Nancy mashed potatoes, grilled asparagus, or roasted Brussels sprouts. Enjoy surf and turf and add a succulent lobster tail or tender grilled salmon fillet to complete your meal. This plus a whole lot more. It's Steakhouse Sensations for a limited time and only at Ruby Tuesday.
Connect with KUAM News. Find us on your favorite social media platform. Follow us and stay in the know with Guam's news leader.
Welcome back. Millions of dollars in cost of living allowance payments are on the way. Adaloop says some $16.2 million has been released for the annual COLA checks. About 8,000 government of Guam retirees and survivors should receive checks for $2,000 each by October 31st. By law, the COLA must be paid by November 1st. In a statement, Governor Eddie Calvo says while there was difficulty getting the cash together, he credits effective cash management for being able to pay out the lump sum COLAs. The Guam Regional Transit Authority is slashing operations, reducing the number of buses it will operate from 18 to 12. GRTA says a 38% budget cut from the legislature forced the reductions. GRTA says it requested $5.9 million for the fiscal year, but was only approved for $3.6 million. The authority says the 12 buses will still allow to provide what it calls adequate bus service. In a statement, the GRTA board acknowledged riders may not like the reduced service. However, it is a budget constraint we are obligated to work with.
So by deleting this section that had some amendments to it in the bill that we're supposed to vote on, if we do delete it, then bottom line, what stays in place is a law that's in existence right now. But to answer the senator's question, because this is nonpartisan, the law reads that the top 2 vote getters will go on to the general.
Friday was voting day at the legislature as 8 bills were passed. One of those measures by Senator Tommy Morrison prohibits political campaign signs on public rights-of-way, but it still allows candidates to hold signs and wave along the roadways. Another election reform bill was not voted on, though. Bill 45 would relieve the Guam Election Commission from conducting primary elections and leave it up to the political parties. Sponsor Senator Joseph Augustine says taxpayers shouldn't have to foot the bill, but questions were raised about an amendment as discussed by Senator Jim Espaldon. And St. Augustine says the amendment was simply to correct a section having to do with unintended runoff elections for the public auditor and the attorney general. But because of the questions, Speaker B.J. Cruz sent the measure back to committee. St. Augustine says he will push for another public hearing as soon as possible so the bill can possibly make it to next month's session agenda. Supporters say the measure would save the GEC more than $4 grand. Opponents say any savings would be lost because of the likelihood of a gubernatorial runoff election. Well, we brought you the story on social media last night, yet another case of cockroach and rodent infestations found at local food establishments. Isa Baza has the details as San Jose supermarket is shut down again.
It's the second time this year. San Jose supermarket had its sanitary permit suspended by public health following an inspection earlier this week.
The inspection was conducted in response to a complaint of cockroach and rat feces seen at the facility.
It led to the supermarket's closure on Wednesday. Environmental Public Health Administrator for the Bureau of Inspection and Enforcement, Mary Lou Scroggs, said the company received a 19B rating for its retail store, 24C rating for its processing plant, and 38C for its warehouse, all of which were shut down after signs of infestation were discovered.
Just like evidence of rodent and road feces in the warehouse where the drinks are stored. A letter grade B and C, it's not a closure, but because of the imminent health hazard, their sanitary permit is suspended.
Various other violations were discovered during the inspection, ranging from a lack of food thermometers to a lack of approved sanitizing solution. Meanwhile, Scroggs noted it's not the first time, adding the business was also shut down in response to a rodent infestation earlier this year.
And also because of the repeat violation, we have to assess the sanitation of the entire facility before we reopen them.
KUAM reached out to San Jose supermarket representatives for comment, but had yet to receive one as of news time. Meanwhile, a reinspection was also conducted at the Guam Premier outlets for 3 food establishments shut down in response to a rodent infestation in early October. China Walk, Mongo Mongo, and Imperial Garden all received an A rating with 0 demerits and are now cleared to reopen. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Issa Baza.
Thanks, Issa. Well, only one will be given the green light. The Guam Charter Schools Council was bound by law to only entertain and approve one of the 2 schools applying for new charters. Superintendent John Fernandez says there are limits in place.
The law allows for 3 non-converted schools that can start from scratch. And these are iLearn and Guahan are 2 of those, occupy 2 of those spots. That means that technically under the law, 1 spot is available. And we have 2 applicants. So we need to work through that and figure out how that impacts our decision making.
The Charter Council must decide over the next 2 months between the Sciences Fun and Awesome Learning Academy Charter School or the Career Tech High Academy Charter School. The schools aim to enroll 350 and 200 students respectively, which could cost taxpayers upwards of $3.5 million next fiscal year. Additionally, Bill 191, introduced by Senator Joseph Augustine, would remove the current law's restrictions and allow both schools to be approved. No need to book a plane ticket. Students at Mount Carmel School took a tour of the world doing research and presenting their findings today during their annual United Nations Day event. The event is intended to excite students' interest in learning about the different countries and cultures. Today's event wouldn't be complete without food tastings and a parade of nations as well. Well, stick around, sports is next, but first, weather.
From the network that brought you up to 3 times more data comes the dawn of a new data. The epic story of Guam's only network brave enough to give 10 free gigs of bonus data on every line every month to customers who bundle their services. Reviewers are calling the offer totes awesome. Best deal ever. And yes.
Visit GTA.net for details.
For 20 years, Matson has been an important part of our everyday lives. Bringing in the cars we drive, the food we eat, and the materials that helped build our homes. From caring for our land through the Adahi Itano program to generously supporting our local charities, Matson has contributed to the preservation and growth of our island. On behalf of those you've served throughout your 20 years on Guam, Sida Smaasi Matson.
St. John's Drama Department presents the Karen Flores production. Lights Out. This original play is November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, second floor of the plaza. Tickets $10 each and can be purchased at the door. For more information, call 488-6899.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you breaking news, turning to Mia in the field.
Thank you, Issa. We're interviewing athletes preparing for something big. We're getting ready for the Guam Coco Kids Fun Run on Saturday, October 28th at Evhal Beach. Can you tell us a bit about your trip?
It's fun because you get to run and you get to exercise a lot.
What are you excited for?
The cool t-shirt.
I'm excited for all the medals that they're going to give for the Coco Kids race.
I'm looking forward to the carnival. I'm looking forward to all the games and the prizes.
I'm looking forward to Run on the Beach. And so is I'm from Aya Bouncers. See you there!
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
Friday, Betness, woohoo! Chris Barnett with sports, proudly brought to you by Triple J. You know how we do every Friday. We kick it off with our Dow Rentone Athlete of the Week.
We're here at Dow Rentone East again for our Dow Rentone Athlete of the Week. Today we have the St. Paul Girls High School volleyball team who just recently picked up a championship title in Hong Kong.
Congratulations, guys, on being Dow Rentone's Athlete of the Week. Who would you like to donate this check to?
KUAM Cancer Care.
Competing in a tournament like this, opening doors for players to possibly be scouted. What was the experience like for you guys out there in Hong Kong?
Being able to play off island, it's something that you'll never forget because you're introduced to new people and new opportunities like scouting. And one of my favorite things about being able to play off island is being there with my teammates.
Playing against four-time defending champions, Morrison Academy. What was that like playing against a team that everybody knew about and you guys meeting up with them in the finals?
It was surprisingly not intimidating at all. We took it 1 point at a time, one set at a time, and then one game at a time. Yeah, it was a pretty big crowd. It was the final game, so all the teams in that tournament watched us, plus the parents that came along with us. So, yeah, it was a pretty big crowd.
St. Paul known for their basketball program, girls basketball season in full effect. What does this team look like and expectations for this year's season?
I think our basketball team is pretty strong, and I think if we have a little bit more time together, we'll really gel. And I think the other team, it's also a competition, and I think it's going to be a really intense season, and we'll see what will happen.
All right, Coach, so coaching multiple sports, numerous track and field titles overseas, but you're a coach who's won in the IIAAG Far East Divisions 1 and 2, Kanto Plain, Dodge, Japan, and now the ACSC title. List of accomplishments goes on. Just what do you attribute your success to on the volleyball court?
I think it's really important as a coach to find your athletes that are self-motivated. If they can find it within themselves to push and be dedicated to the goal as a group, then the objectives get a lot easier.
All right. Congratulations. Stay tuned to our next Dow Rentone Athlete of the Week.
KUAM Sports Athlete of the Week is brought to you by
Church Basketball League highlights between Abundant Life Church and the St. Paul Christian School squad. St. Paul Christian School edged out St. Paul Assembly of God Church 62-59 to make it to this year's finals. Abundant Life Church got in after defeating Ministry of Micronesia 68-55 in the semifinals. James Stake led Abundant Life Church in the championship game with 24 points. D'Angelo Gallardo put up a game-high 29 points for St. Paul, but it wasn't enough as their older competitors pulled away with the win 78-70. This is Abundant Life Church's second title in 3 years. The 2017 Triple J Guam National Youth Football Federation Championship Day takes place tomorrow at the House Angels Field in Dedido. Action kicks off in the Munha Division at 1 in the afternoon between the Angels and Cowboys. The Mega Division will take to the Gridiron Necks at 3 in the afternoon. Meeting up will be the Angels and Steelers, while the Matua Division Championship will be on the line when the undefeated Guam Packers take on the Angels at 7 p.m.
Press con and weigh-ins for the Copa de Marianas, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament going down tomorrow at the Father Duenas Phoenix Center, featuring the first women's black belt division matchups on Guam with elite competitors from around the world to compete for a combined cash prize of $4,000. They've also got a Masters division, 37 and up for you Jiu-Jitsu Manamco, also added this year for all belt levels, white to brown. Other divisions include kids, teens, female, and, of course, adult divisions. The Copa de Marianas open to the public. All ages welcome to attend. Tickets sold at the door, and food vendors will also be on site. Hey, the Copa Marianas. All right, finally a reason to look forward to Monday. Football American. 3 in the morning, TV 11, NFL on CBS, the Oakland Raiders at the Buffalo Bills. And then we switch it over to KUAM TV 8, 10:20 in the morning, Sunday night football. Monday here on Guam, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Lions of Detroit. Rawr. Have a great weekend. I'll see you race day. Koku Road Race. My name's Chris. Hasta!
Nissan's fall clearance event is on with the best prices of the year. Save as much as $8,000 on the all-new 8-passenger Armada. Get the cargo van selected best in class with 25 miles per gallon combined. The fuel-efficient NV200 compact cargo van with 5-year, 100,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty starting at just $127 per pay period. Great deals on Versa Sedan, Frontier King Cab, or the 7-passenger Pathfinder starting at just $87 per pay period during the fall clearance event at Nissan Upper Tumon. Find out more at nissanguam.com.
Say hello to the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas, Guam, Saipan, Tinian, and Rota. When your passion goes beyond your island, choose a plan that takes you further. With Docomo Pacific's My Plans, you can do a lot throughout the Marianas. 20 gigs for $79 or 30 gigs for $99. All the data you need to connect, share, and make all your ideas happen. Dream big, reach higher with My Plans. Docomo Pacific, better together.
Quarter pounder with cheese, now seared to be thicker and juicier. Only at McDonald's.
It's back and bigger than ever. The big deal is going on now at Triple J. 0 down, 1.9% financing plus a $500 Kmart gift certificate. Save big with deals like the Ford F-150 at $266 per paycheck, the Mazda CX-3 at $154, the Kia Optima at $169 per paycheck, or the Honda Accord at $193 per paycheck. Stop by today or visit us online at triplejguam.com and see print ads for details. Trade-ins welcome. Some conditions apply. Triple J, 33 years of putting customers first.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shoutouts from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Kaylani Rose Victoria Maternity, happy 5th birthday. Love mom and dad and your brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews. Happy birthday Nevaeh, Sandy Powell, Mason Wade Mayu, coming from Grandma Mercy and the whole family. Happy birthday Edwin St. Nicholas. Hope you enjoy your special day from Leo and Emberly. Happy birthday Dora Marie Sanchez. John Paul Tahaji Salas, happy birthday. Love your wife, kids, and grandchildren. Jaden and Dylan Naval, happy 11th birthday. Love you lots. Nana, Mary, Mom, and Dad. Latoya and Jacob, and your little brother Damien. Xander J. Villanueva, happy 4th birthday and many more to come. We love you, son. And happy birthday to our very own Betty Ann Guerrero. And remember, you can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Just register on KUAM.com, include your photo, your name, and your birthday. And it's that time to announce the winner of a yummy Cold Stone Creamery birthday cake. This week's winner is Talon J. Blas Beneventi. Congratulations. A rep will be contacting you on how you can redeem your cake. And that's going to do it for us here on the News Desk. Stay tuned. Extras next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion.
Good day, everybody, and welcome to the show. We have news coming up in tonight's program about how you can secure a home loan and what the court system is doing to keep up with the speed of technology. But first, one of the hallmarks of Guam culture is our hospitality and taking care of people, and a big part of that is food. So when it comes to feeding people who are hungry, that is something that deeply affects all of us. None more so than my guest tonight, Father Mike Chrysostom Pali.
Thank you, Jason. God bless you.
And God bless you too. And thank you for being here tonight, because you are here on behalf of Cocina en Caridad, the wonderful organization that does everything it can to make sure that everyone has a hot meal every single day.
Every day. In fact, Cocina Kamalin is our program, our flagship program of Kamalin en Caridad Incorporated. And so Kamalin en Caridad has been in existence for over 24 years. And I've taken over as executive director